in a little bit of a different posture. If you think that body language matters, and in Hollywood and Washington it certainly often does, back in February he was very big, standing over, almost lording over the meeting, bravado. Today, while definitely a presence, he was seated. It seemed almost coordinated, as the president also made a point of praising Musk while hinting at his departure.
This whole room can say that very strongly. You've really been a tremendous help. You opened up a lot of eyes as to what can be done, and we just want to thank you very much. And
at what may be his final cabinet meeting for the foreseeable future, billionaire Elon Musk, once hailed as Trump's personal government slasher, walked into the White House wearing not one, but two baseball caps stacked on his head. The first cap, stamped with the name of his aggressive cost-cutting DOGE agency, was covered by a red and white Gulf of America hat he casually grabbed from the table. President Trump, watching with amusement, cracked. He's the only one who can do that and get away with it, drawing laughter from the very cabinet leaders whose agencies Musk had taken a knife to. With a smirk, Musk shot back, "Well, Mr. President, you know, they say I wear a lot of hats."
Well, Mr. President, they say I wear a lot of hats. And as you can see, it's true.
But beneath the banter, the mood masked deeper tensions. Musk's tenure as a special government employee has been anything but smooth. Tasked with hacking down the size of the federal government, Musk leaves Washington having barely dented his own colossal goal, $2 trillion in cuts. By his own account at Wednesday's meeting, he's managed just $160 billion, a figure insiders say is heavily disputed. Behind those closed cabinet doors, Musk had reportedly clashed with top secretaries over his radical cuts, sowing division even as Trump publicly praised him. His sudden departure now raises provocative questions. Did Musk jump ship before being pushed? Did his outsized promises finally catch up to him? Or is this just a temporary retreat before an even bolder political play? Stay tuned as we dive deep into our video today. In a moment that stunned even seasoned political insiders, President Donald Trump's cabinet meeting on Wednesday transformed into a glowing farewell party for none other than Elon Musk, the tech billionaire whose whirlwind romance with Washington is ending almost as abruptly as it began. Despite having one foot out the door, Musk appeared at the White House gathering meant to celebrate Trump's 100 days of his second term. But instead of policy talk, the room buzzed with praise for Musk, whose high-profile departure has sparked whispers across political and business circles. "We'd all want to thank you for your help," Trump declared, turning the spotlight onto Musk. "You really have sacrificed a lot." The president, never shy to stoke controversy, doubled down by claiming the world's richest man had been treated very unfairly. A comment sure to ignite fierce debate given Musk's turbulent political and business entanglements. "You know you're invited to stay as long as you want," Trump teased, as the cabinet room erupted in applause. But Musk, according to Trump, was itching to return home. He wants to get back to his cars, the president quipped.
The American people voted for secure borders, safe cities, and sensible spending. And that's what they've gotten.
In the first 100 days, as everyone has said, it's more than has been accomplished in any administration before, ever, period. This portends very well for what will happen for the rest of the administration. I think this could be the greatest administration since the founding of the country.
well, we all want to thank you for your help. You really have sacrificed a lot. Been treated very unfairly.
Well, they do like to burn my cars, which is not great. It could be better.
But you have been treated unfairly. But the vast majority of people in this country really respect and appreciate you, and this whole room can say that very strongly. You've really been a tremendous help. You opened up a lot of eyes as to what could be done, and we just want to thank you very much. And you're invited to stay as long as you want. At some point, I guess he wants to get back home to his cars and his. You've done an incredible job. $150 billion. Think of that.
Yeah. 160 now.
Yeah, 160. They said, "Oh, it could have been more." And a lot of stuff is being worked on. That number could be doubled and even tripled. A lot of things are being worked on that we don't count yet because it's not quite there. But you've done a fantastic job, and we appreciate it very much, Elon.
Thank you. And it's also an honor to work with your incredible cabinet. I'd just like to say thank you, everyone. It's great to work with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Beneath the surface of applause and banter, Musk's Washington adventure has been anything but smooth. Once armed with a bold, headline-grabbing goal of slashing $2 trillion in federal spending, Musk now departs well short of the mark. At Wednesday's meeting, he claimed roughly $160 billion in cuts, a figure hotly disputed by insiders. But it's not just Washington feeling the fallout. Back home, Tesla is hurting. The company reported a stunning 71% plunge in net income last week, fueled by trade tensions, controversial political entanglements, and a wave of vandalism targeting Musk dealerships and vehicles nationwide. "They do like to burn my cars, which is not great," Musk deadpanned at the meeting, masking the seriousness of the damage. Though Musk told investors he's stepping back from his government role to focus on saving Tesla, his exact plans remain murky. Trump teased, "You're invited to stay as long as you want."
You're invited to stay as long as you want at some point.
But even the president hinted that Musk seemed eager to retreat. At some point, I guess, he wants to get back home to his cars. Behind the scenes, Musk's time in Trump's orbit has been riddled with conflict. Reports emerged of fiery clashes with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, culminating in a heated March meeting where Musk accused Rubio of failing to slash staff, and Rubio fired back, calling Musk a liar. Trump, playing referee, ultimately clipped Musk's power, relegating him to an advisory role. More recently, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Musk were heard hurling expletives at each other over who should lead the IRS, as Trump's pick. A controversial whistleblower was abruptly replaced after Bessent returned to Washington. Despite the battles, Rubio and Bessent offered carefully worded praise on Wednesday, suggesting that under Musk, government efficiency had improved. For his part, Musk flattered the room, declaring Trump's cabinet could be the greatest since the founding of the country.
I think this could be the greatest administration since the founding of the country.
Yet no one seems sure what Musk's next move will be. The White House has gone silent on whether he'll continue appearing at cabinet meetings. Chief of Staff Susie Wiles admitted Musk no longer works regularly from the West Wing, but confirmed he plans to keep a small office for when he's back in town. In a private briefing with select reporters after the meeting, Musk hinted that DOGE could keep slashing spending through 2028, with or without him. Trump echoed that optimism. That number could be doubled, even tripled. A lot of things are being worked on that we don't count yet because it's not quite there. But behind the applause and promises, one question now haunts Washington. Is Elon Musk's government experiment truly over, or is this just the beginning of an even more disruptive political play? Make sure to leave a comment below, and as always, do like the video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our future videos.